Today we're doing real Maine fish and chips. I'm Zachary Fowler, you're watching the Catch and Cook Kitchen, and the other day we went out and we caught a beautiful Maine striped bass. Perfect striper candy right there. That should do it. That's all we need. That's down. There we go, fish on. It feels like a small one. It didn't put up much of a fight till I got to the boat, so I thought it was gonna be undersized.
Too far.
Scoop him, reach. Yeah! But when we got it out of the water and measured it twice, it was a ½ an inch over, and I was stoked. 28 and a half now?
Yeah.
We did it.
Yep.
We did it. Yes! We went and did a video on my other channel. We did one with Chris where we did a gluten-free one. You can check that out on Fowler's Makery and Mischief, my main channel. And today I thought, since Chris is gone and we don't have to do gluten-free, we're gonna do a beer batter and make a delicious, traditional Maine fish and chips with some really delicious, crunchy French fries. I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So right now we only have half a fillet left. I cleaned it down by the front of the house the day I got home with it because you wanna cool that meat down for the best flavor possible. Simple slice here and slice down the fish. And I like to, once you get close to the top of the ribs here and you've removed the majority of your meat, giving a little tug to break it free of that turn in the corner. Cut down those ribs, remove it, and I'll cut this one off because we don't need the tail for assistance till I get the last fillet off of there. I'll throw the carcass into the lobster trap and we'll turn that into lobsters for another meal. All right, before I drag off my fillet, there is a little fin right here. The way I cut it, it left that on there. I'm gonna remove that. I like to go like this, and I'm gonna remove that as a separate piece because that was never gonna get cooked at the same time as these other ones. Now she's ready to go with hopefully one smooth cut all the way down her to get the fillet off. Boom. And then this guy here, cut down and in so we can get a little bit of a tab and just, I'm gonna put the belly to the side. I'm not gonna fry that because it would just be over battered because it's so thin, and that'll be a whole nother lunch for me to be able to just cook up in a pan and throw it in like a little burrito wrapper or something like that, just very simply cooked. I'm just gonna lightly trim the heaviest parts of this blood line here on the back. It doesn't ruin the flavor that much compared to some fish. It will remove a lot of that gamier flavor. So if you're cooking for friends or family that are already kind of like not too sure about how much they like fish, and you leave that on, you might find that they notice the fishy flavor of the fish and they're like, yeah, that was good, thanks, you know, and they really didn't, they don't like it. So I'm just gonna take advantage of that spot right there, cut down here, and then I'm gonna cut that into, oh yeah, 2 pieces here. Cut this one here, nice fish and chip size piece. You don't want them to be too thick because so that they can all kind of fry at about the same amount of time, and that should give us about the same amount of frying time right there. Now that they're all prepped up, we're just gonna give them a little salt and let them sit while we do our beer batter. For our fish, we're gonna need a dry and then a wet batter for that, the beer batter being the wet. The dry is just gonna be a very simple, that will help the wet stick to it. So just enough flour to be able to coat them. Salt and pepper, once again, because we don't wanna add a flavorless layer to anything that we're cooking. Set that to the side. Now for our wet one, we're gonna go with flour halfway and rice flour for the second half. But we couldn't find any rice flour at the store because we just have a little general grocery store and I didn't want to go to the 45-minute away store. So we're gonna have to make our own rice flour. This is a bag rice that's already been pre-rinsed and probably even pre-cooked partially. You want a 50-50 rice flour to regular flour. And the reason for that is you get that really good crunchy outer crust. And that's what we're going for. 50% flour, which looks approximately about a cup. We'll make our rice flour with a little food processor here. There we go. Got our sad little pre-bagged boil bag of rice. We're gonna make it into happy fried fish though. Dump that in the food processor. It takes a little bit. This will be an interesting experiment. It's been like 10 minutes. I should have just run it through the coffee grinder. I'll run it through the sieve. Well, I don't know if that's exactly half and half, but if it works, I'm gonna be happy. That looks about a teaspoon, boom, of baking powder and a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. All right, And we got our PBR here. Put that in there. You want like a light beer, an Amstel or this PBR's work pretty good. When you're using a beer batter, it's the alcohol that evaporates off during the cooking that causes that bubbly and fluffy shell. Stir that for about a minute and then set that to the side. And now we're gonna do our tartar sauce. Normally tartar sauce for me is just chopped up pickles and mayonnaise. It's so good, so simple. This time we're gonna add a little pizzazz and we're gonna make it a little easier for us by doing the already done up pickle relish. Do not do the sweet pickle relish. Just a pickled pickle relish is good. A little bit of mustard, Worcestershire, capers, shallots, and lemon. That's gonna be everything we need for this really good tartar sauce. If you really want to impress somebody, go that way. Either way, as long as you make it fresh, it's gonna be so good. First, some chopping of our shallots. Cut our lemon, so that's ready to go. We're gonna add our capers. This is the difficult part, and it's not even all that difficult. Drain the juices out. Capers, if you haven't had them, they're just little flower buds, and they're so delicious. But chopping them on the board can be a little bit difficult because they don't like to hold still. Goes into our bowl, and we're just going with the dill relish. There's a lot of juice in here, so we gotta get that juice out. Once the juices are out, dump that in. Dash of Worcestershire sauce, a squeeze of the lemon, a nice scoop of this fancy, I'm gonna say artesian gourmet Ray's mustard. Well, and last but arguably I think the most important, a good amount of mayonnaise, probably about a cup. Go give it a little taste, make sure we did a good job. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, time to fry. Heritage 4-quart pot. We'll go with the vegetable oil. Pop that in. We're gonna do about a half a pan. We're gonna set this to 275. Now for our fries, we already went in advance because it takes a couple hours to do, and we went and cut our fries, and then we rinsed them, and then we let them sit in some water, and then we rinse them again to get all the starches out, and then you boil them, and then you dry them, which takes about an hour. We cheated by throwing them in the air fryer, so it dried them in about 10 minutes. Now they're ready to go in that 275, and they'll come back out and get a final fry after the fish. As you can see, mine kind of broke up a little bit during the boil. They're gonna be more delicious because there's more surface area for the frying, and there's gonna get that little crispy bite at the end because we did it this way with that rinsing the starches off, boiling them, and drying them. Just gonna load up our little basket with our chippies to be. It's up to temp, 275, and get our little chippies in there. And we're just going till these are just starting to golden around the edges. They're not done, they're just half done. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. They're looking pretty good. You see a little bit of that crispiness, goldenness around the edges. I don't want to go too far. Tap the oil off and spread them gently on here, and we'll throw the rest of them in. The skins look pretty interesting. They've flaked up and curled. And now we turn the oil up to 375 so we can put the fish in. I'm just gonna jump all our fish, boom, boom, whoop, right into our dry mix. Then I just take them after they've been in there and put them onto a screen and shake them free of any excess dry mix. Do a couple at a time here and just get them in our beer batter, gently into our oil. So we're just gonna do a couple at a time, maybe 3. All right, I think our first one is done. Oh, it's looking goldeny and delicious. Would you look at that? Oh, look at that. I'm gonna go with my 3 thin pieces here, all at the same time, so they can finish all about the same time. And our last little fellas are done. All right, let's put our fries in for their final run. Get that final crispiness onto them. Ooh, look at that, they're already looking really good. And here they go, a minute, 10 seconds maybe at most. Crisp all up. I can even hear it as they hit. They're like, there's a little crackle. We'll let the oil recover for just a couple seconds and salt these guys. And put our next run in. All right, it is done. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Oh, that's the best I've ever done. Thank you, Lord, for the fish. Thank you for the catch, and thank you for the adventure, Jesus. I pray all this in your name. Amen. Maybe I'll try the tartar sauce on it. Like, so crunchy. Listen to that sound. Crispy potato skin. That's so good. I'm never peeling my potatoes again and just making fries. What a waste. I don't know where to start. It's all so beautiful. I don't want to even mess it up by touching it. I'm going with this one. All right, dipping it. I have never made or had something this good at a restaurant or anything in my entire life. That is amazing. That is so good. Real Maine striper, catch and cook. Oh, that's amazing. I'm gonna eat some more of this, find somebody to share it with because I made way too much for just myself. But if you like more of the catch side of the adventure, go check out my main channel, Fowler's Makery of Mischief, and we'll see you in the next one. Fowler out.